Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into the Linux command line. We're going to take what looks like a kind of scary, intimidating black screen and turn it into your new best friend, a seriously powerful tool that lets you manage files with incredible speed and precision.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the big idea behind Linux, its core philosophy. Then we'll get our hands dirty creating and managing files. After that, we'll get into the super important rules of permissions, and we'll wrap up by showing you how to chain commands together to do some really amazing things.
So, first things first. To really get a handle on the command line, you have to grasp this one simple but incredibly powerful idea, that the entire Linux system is built on. This is the why that makes all the hows we're about to learn just click.
And here it is. This is the secret sauce. In Linux, everything is treated as a file. I mean, everything. Your text documents? Sure. The folders holding them? Yep, they're files too. Even your printer or your hard drive. The system just sees them all as files. This one concept is what makes Linux so insanely flexible and powerful.
So this whole everything is a file idea really breaks down into three main categories. You've got your general files, right? That's the stuff we think of every day. Documents, images, you name it. Then you have directories, which are really just special files whose job is to hold other files. And then there are device files, which is how the system talks to hardware. It just reads from and writes to them like any other file. Pretty cool, huh?
Okay, with that big idea in our back pocket, let's see how it actually works. How do we start making stuff and just looking around? It's time to learn the absolute basic building blocks of the terminal.
Here are the first 4 commands you absolutely need to know. And you'll notice the names just make sense. ls is short for list, and it lists what's in your current location. mkdir, that's make directory. Touch is just a super quick way to create a new blank file. And cat lets you see what's inside a file right there in your terminal.
But what if you need more than just the names of your files? Well, you can add what's called a flag to your command. Think of it like a little option. For instance, adding L to ls gives you a long listing. This shows you all the juicy details, like permissions, who owns it, and the file size. Honestly, it's a total game changer.
All right, so we can see stuff, we can create stuff. Now it's time for the action words, the verbs of file management. These are the commands that let us copy things, move them around, and get rid of them.
This basically lays out the whole life of a file on the command line. You use cp to make a copy. You use mv to move it somewhere else. And here's a little pro tip. MV is also how you rename a file. You just move it to a new name in the same spot. And when you're done with it for good, RM is how you permanently remove it.
Okay, and I have to give you a really important warning here. The RM command is powerful, and it is permanent. Let me say that again. There is no recycle bin. There is no undo button. When you delete something with RM, it's gone. For real. So you always want to double check what you're about to delete.
So, we're making and moving files, but who's allowed to do what with them? That's where permissions come into play. You can think of this as the security system, the rules of the road that keep everything in a multi-user system safe and organized.
Now the command for this, chmod, uses this really clever numeric system. It might look a little weird, but it's just simple math. Each permission, read, write, and execute, gets a number, 4, 2, and 1. You just add them up for what you want. Need read and write access? Okay, that's 4 plus 2, that's 6. Want to give full access? That's 4 plus 2 plus 1, which equals 7. Simple, right? Total control with a little bit of addition.
And what if you need to change who actually owns the file? Well, for that, there's the chown command, which is short for change owner. It gives you complete control. You can assign a new user, a new group, or both, making sure the right people have the right level of access.
Okay, now we get to the part where the real magic happens. The true power of the command line isn't just using individual tools. It's about how you can chain them together to do incredibly complex things. First up is something called redirection. These 2 little symbols give you control over where a command's output goes. The single greater than sign is like taking a fire hose to a file. It just overwrites whatever was there. The double one is a little kinder. It just adds the new output to the very end of the file.
And now for my absolute favorite tool, the pipe. This vertical bar is one of the most brilliant concepts in all of Linux. Think of it like digital plumbing. It literally takes the stream of data coming out of one command and funnels it directly into the input of a second command.
Let's see how this works. Imagine you have a massive log file with thousands of lines of text. First, the cat command reads the whole thing and tries to dump it all onto your screen. But wait, the pipe intercepts all of that text and shoves it directly into the grep command. Grep then acts like a filter, instantly searching through that massive stream of text and only showing you the lines that contain the word critical. It's just so elegant and efficient.
So, what this really all means is that by learning just a few simple commands and understanding how to connect them, you're not just memorizing things, you're learning how to build your own custom tools on the fly. You can create these incredibly slick workflows to solve almost any problem you can think of. So, now that you have these building blocks, what's the first complex task you're going to simplify?